Welcome back to part 2 of the art of reading. So, in this module, in the second module, we'll be learning about many other aspects. Mostly, we'll be focusing on the practical aspects about how to read better, what are the strategies, and things like that. So, now coming to the contents, we'll be talking about the general advice on effective reading, techniques of effective reading, and strategies for developing reading skills. The thing is, all this is theory, and it is almost like teaching a person how to swim by asking them to read a book about swimming. So the question is, will they actually learn how to swim? Similarly, whatever I'm going to tell you is just theory, and it will actually be effective, and you will find a lot of use out of it only if you have a practical application of it, use it in your daily life. Now let's move on to the effective reading, basically my general advice. So the following advice might seem very obvious, but it is still very important. Consider where you are reading, as in the place where you are reading. Always read in a well-lit room and a quiet place that is free of distractions. And don't get into the habit of reading university material or college academic material in bed unless you want to go to sleep, right? Because sometimes we could associate comfort such as sleeping with books. So automatically you could be programmed to sleep or nod off when you start reading, right? The next point is, don't vocalize as you read. This will slow you down. It won't help with the concentration, and it will lead to bad reading approaches, right? These are all not shoulds and musts, because when we are having more rules and when we are having more to dos, sometimes we don't feel like actually doing it, right? So just consider these points that will help you be a effective reader, right? I'm not telling you should follow this, but reading in itself, you should be doing it for your own pleasure, right? So just keep these pointers in the back of your head and don't stress a lot and think I am not doing this, I'm not doing that. Just keep these points in the back of your head. The next point is, read at times when you can concentrate and maintain concentration by taking regular short breaks, perhaps every 30 or 45 minutes. Also, there is something called the Pomodoro technique. So what happens here is, you say, for example, read for about 20 minutes, then you take a 5-minute break, then again 20 minutes you read, then a 5-minute break. So you can take for about 4 to 5 Pomodoros, right? The next point is, set yourself reading tasks, 10 pages, 1 chapter, 1 section of a chapter, etc. But the disadvantage of setting tasks sometimes is, you could stress out and you could start panicking, in a way, thinking about why I didn't do this, I have not reached my target, and things like that. Remember that reading often takes longer than you expect, and you often need to go beyond set text. Give yourself enough time, right? So, for example, if you're a person who is not an avid reader and it's been quite a while that you last read, then you can begin by just starting for about 4 to 5 pages in a day, maintain it for a week, then for 2 weeks, then slowly increase it to, say, for example, 6 to 10 pages a day, and slowly move on, and that's how people develop. See, the thing is, when you begin any skill, there is a chance that you might lack and you might not be really good at it, right? Every professional had to begin at some level, right? And you can't expect people to perfect things right away, because we are all humans and we make mistakes. Effective reading goes beyond speed. It's about understanding, analyzing, and engaging with content. In academic settings, strong reading skills lead to better comprehension, critical analysis, and improved writing. In professional and personal contexts, effective reading helps extract valuable insights and help you make informed decisions. Now let's see what are the benefits of effective reading. The first one is enhanced comprehension. Effective reading goes beyond surface level understanding. It involves delving into deeper meanings, themes, and nuances of a text. By engaging with the material at a thoughtful and focused level, readers can extract more profound insights, connect ideas, and understand the author's intentions. Improved comprehension enables readers to fully grasp complex concepts and appreciate the layers of meaning within the text. The second point is improved retention. Effective reading strategies contribute to a better retention of information you have read. Techniques such as summarizing, note taking, and mental organization help solidify key points in your memory. Actively engaging with texts, such as asking questions and making connections, aids in retaining information over the long term. This enhanced retention allows you to recall and apply what you have learned in various contexts. Then we have critical thinking. Effective reading encourages critical thinking skills rather than passively absorbing information. Effective readers engage in analytical process. They evaluate the credibility of sources, consider alternative perspectives, and identify biases or logical fallacies. This active engagement with the text fosters the ability to form well reasoned opinions, make informed decisions, and participate in meaningful discussions. Then we have time efficiency. Effective reading strategies enables readers to improve their reading speed without sacrificing comprehension. Techniques such as previewing the text, focusing on key ideas, and minimizing the sub-vocalization, that is silent reading in your head, can help increase reading efficiency. By reading faster while maintaining comprehension, individuals can save time and cover more material, enhancing their overall productivity. Developing effective reading skills is an investment in your cognitive ability and personal growth. These skills empower you to engage deeply with the text, extract valuable insight, and apply knowledge in various aspects of your life. Now we move on to the techniques of skimming and scanning, which are reading techniques that use rapid eye movement and keywords to move quickly through text for slightly different purposes. Skimming is reading rapidly in order to get a general overview of the material. Skimming tells you what general information is within a section. Use skimming in previewing, that is reading before you read. Reviewing, that is reading after you read. Determining the main ideas from a long section you don't wish to read, or when trying to find source material for a research paper. Skimming to save time. Skimming can save you hours of laborious reading. Though it is not the most appropriate way to read, it is very useful as a preview to a more detailed reading. But when you skim, you may miss important points or finer shades of meaning, for which study reading may be necessary. You can use skimming to overview your text chapters or to review for a text. Use skimming to decide if you need to read something at all, for example, during the preliminary research for a paper. Skimming can tell you enough about the general idea and tone of the materials, as well as its gross similarity or difference from other sources, to know if you need to read at all once again. To skim, prepare yourself to move rapidly through the pages. You will pay attention to typographical cues, headings, boldface and italic type, indenting, bulleted and numberless. You will be alert for keywords and phrases, the name of places and people, dates, nouns, and unfamiliar words. In general, follow these steps. Read the table of content or chapter overview to learn the main division of ideas. Glance through the main headings in each chapter just to see a word or two. Read the headings of charts and tables. Read the entire introductory passage and then the first and last sentence only of each following paragraph. For each paragraph, read only the first few words of each sentence or to locate the main idea. Stop and quickly read the sentence containing keywords in boldface or italics. When you think you have found something significant, stop to read the entire sentence to make sure. Then go on the same way. Resist the temptation to stop to read details you don't need. Read chapter summaries when provided. Good skimmers do not skim everything at the same rate or give equal attention to everything. While skimming is always faster than your normal reading speed, you should slow down in the following situation. When you skim introductory and concluding paragraphs, when you skim topic sentences, when you find an unfamiliar word, when the material is very complicated. Now, just observe this next slide. Is it written in English or is it written in some other language? Use whatever I have told you about skimming and try to use it on this particular slide. It says interesting fact. According to research at an Links University, it doesn't matter in what order the letters in a word are. The only important thing is that the first and the last letter is at the right place. The rest can be a total mess and you can still read it without a problem. This is because we do not read every letter by itself but the word as a whole. It's very interesting, isn't it? The power of skimming. Scanning too uses keywords and organizational cues. But while the goal of skimming is a bird's eye view of the material, the goal of scanning is to locate and swoop down on particular facts. Facts may be buried within long text that have relatively little else to do with your topic. Skim this material first to decide if it is likely to contain the facts you need. Don't forget to scan the table of contents, summaries, indexes, heading and typographical cues. To make sense of lists and tables, skim them first. If after skimming you decide the material will be useful, go ahead and scan. Know what you're looking for. Decide on a few keywords or phrases, search terms. Look for only one keyword at a time. Let your eyes float rapidly down the page until you find the word or phrase you are looking for. When your eyes catches one of the keyword, read the surrounding materials carefully. Scanning is a technique that requires concentration and can be surprisingly tiring. You may have to practice at not allowing your attention to wander. Picture yourself visiting a historical city with a guidebook in hand. You would most probably just scan the guidebook to see which site you might want to visit. Scanning involves getting your eyes to quickly scuttle across the sentence and it is used to get a simple piece of information. Now, if you see this particular slide, it gives you times along with the scheduled programs for one radio station, say 98.3 FM. Now just observe the timings and the programs and try using the skill of scanning and answer the following question. When do you listen to Naye Nagma? At what time do you have artists of the fortnight? Name one program of longer duration than the other. Now let's see what are the benefits of skimming and scanning. They quickly identify the key points and main ideas. They locate specific details without reading the entire text. Efficiently decide whether the text is worth reading in depth. Next, we move on to active reading. Now, active reading is engaging with the text by interacting, highlighting, annotating and taking notes. What are the benefits? Enhance focus and concentration, improves comprehension and information retention, encourages critical thinking and deeper engagement. Now let's see what are the effective techniques for active reading. The first one is highlighting and underlining. Highlighting and underlining involve marking key points, important concepts, and supporting details in the text. These techniques help you visually identify crucial information and make it easier to review later. Using different colors for different types of information can aid in categorizing content. For instance, you might want to use one color for main ideas, another for examples, and the third one for definitions. However, it is important to avoid over highlighting, as excessive highlighting can diminish its effectiveness. The second one is annotating and making marginal notes. Annotating involves adding comments, questions, and reflections in the margins of the text or in a separate notebook. This technique encourages you to actively engage with the material and express your thoughts. You can use annotations to summarize paragraphs or sections in your own words, identify connection between ideas, and ask questions for further exploration. Annotating enhances comprehension and makes it easier to revisit your insight. Then we move on to taking notes. Taking notes as you read involves jotting down main ideas, keywords, and key details. You can use a separate notebook or digital note taking tool for this purpose. Abbreviations and symbols can help you capture information more effectively. Summarizing complex concepts in your own words forces you to process and internalize the content. These notes become valuable resources for review, study, and reference. Next, we have the SQ3R method. It is basically an acronym which stands for survey, question, read, recite, and review. It's a very popular technique to process reading material quite quickly and more effectively. So, what are all these components? The first one being survey. So, we begin by surveying the material you are about to read, skim through the headings, subheadings, captions, and any visuals. This step provides an overview of the content, helping you to understand the structure and main ideas of the text before diving into the details. Then we have questions. After surveying, formulate questions based on what you have observed. Create questions that address the main points you expect the text to cover. These questions act as a roadmap for your reading, guiding your focus and helping you stay actively engaged in seeking answers. Next is reading. Read the text carefully and systematically. Focus on answering the questions you generated during the previous step. Take your time to comprehend the material and underline or highlight relevant information. Pay attention to key concepts, supporting details, and any information that answers your question. Then we proceed to reciting. Close the text and recite the answers to your questions aloud or in your own words. This step tests your understanding and retention of the material. Reciting reinforces the information and helps you internalize key points. If you struggle to recite certain information, revisit the text and review the relevant sections. Then we have reviewing. After reciting, review the entire content and your notes. Reflect on the main ideas, details, and connections you have encountered. This step solidifies your understanding and reinforces your memory of the content. Additionally, consider how the information fits into the larger context and any implications it may have. So, what are the benefits of SQ3R method? The first one is it encourages a structured approach to reading. The SQ3R method provides a systematic and organized approach to reading and studying. It guides readers through a series of specific steps, from surveying the material to reciting and reviewing it. This structured approach helps readers stay focused, organized, and disciplined in their reading habits. By following a clear process, readers can navigate complex texts more effectively. The second one is it enhances understanding and retention through active engagement. By formulating questions, reading with a purpose, and reciting the information, readers actively process and internalize the content. This approach enhances comprehension and retention compared to passive reading, where information may be quickly forgotten. Third one is it improves the organization of information in your mind. As readers progress through the steps, they create mental connections between main ideas, supporting details, and their own questions. Reciting the information reinforces these connections and aids in the internal organization of knowledge. This organized mental framework makes it easier to recall information when needed. Next, we have chunking, that is breaking down a text into smaller, manageable chunks for better understanding. Let us see what are the benefits of chunking. It reduces information overload. So, by organizing information into meaningful chunks, individuals can focus their attention on one piece of information at a time, reducing cognitive strain. Then we have facilitating comprehension of complex content. Complex content, especially in the field of science, technology, or academic subjects, can be challenging to understand when presented in a continuous stream. Chunking helps simplify complex material by presenting it in a coherent segment. Each chunk represents a discrete concept or idea, making it easier to grasp and connect with related information. This approach enables learners to better follow the logical progression of ideas and concepts, enhancing the ability to retain and recall information. When information is presented in manageable chunks, it becomes more meaningful and easier to remember. Chunking capitalizes on the brain's natural capacity to process and remember patterns, making it easier to encode and retrieve information. This is particularly useful when trying to remember a sequence of related concepts, such as steps in a process or series of numbers. Now let's see what are the effective techniques of chunking. First one is identifying headings and subheadings. Headings and subheadings serve as organizational markers in a text. They provide a roadmap for the content by outlining the main topics and subtopics. Research by Dunlosky in 1998 highlights the importance of organizational cues like headings in improving text comprehension. These cues help readers anticipate the content of each section, allowing them to mentally prepare for the information they are about to encounter. By identifying headings and subheadings, readers can create a mental framework that aids in chunking and comprehension. Breaking text into paragraph. Dividing your reading into manageable sections such as paragraphs promotes focused processing of information. Research by Kivra in 1985 suggests that breaking text into smaller units enhances note-taking and understanding. Reading one paragraph at a time and then pausing to process the content allows you to grasp the main ideas and supporting details within the chunk. This method prevents cognitive overload and facilitates better comprehension. Finally, by making use of visual cues, visual cues such as bulleted or numbered lists, graphs, and charts provide visual separation of information. Research by Mayer and Moreno in 2003 indicates that the use of visual aids can enhance learning by reducing cognitive load and directing attention to key points. Visual cues indicate distinct chunks of information and often present complex data in a more easily digestible format. Utilizing these cues can help you identify and comprehend important concepts. Next, we move to the technique of mind mapping. So, mind mapping is a visual technique that serves as an effective tool for organizing ideas and concepts obtained from various sources, such as text. By creating a visual representation of these ideas, mind mapping helps individuals better understand the relationship between them, promoting creativity, thinking, and facilitating a holistic understanding. It helps in understanding relationship between ideas. Mind mapping excels at elucidating the connection among different ideas. Through the creation of visual maps, individuals can discern how distinct pieces of information are interlinked. This process aids in identifying key themes, central concepts, and supportive details, contributing to an enhanced grasp of overall content structure. It encourages creative thinking and holistic understanding. A notable advantage of mind mapping is its ability to stimulate creative thinking by enabling the exploration of non-linear association between ideas. In contrast to linear note taking, mind mapping fosters diverse connections, sparking novel insights and imaginative thoughts. This technique also encourages a holistic understanding of the subject by capturing a comprehensive view of the topic rather than focusing solely on discrete points. It makes complex information more digestible. Mind mapping simplifies complex information by breaking it down into manageable segments. By representing information visually, mind maps allows individuals to visualize the hierarchy of ideas and the flow of information. This approach makes it easier to absorb intricacies between concepts and retain knowledge effectively. It also facilitates brainstorming and idea generation. Mind mapping serves as a valuable tool for brainstorming and generating new ideas. By visually mapping thoughts, individuals can swiftly uncover associations and connections among concepts. This process is particularly useful in scenarios involving problem solving, decision making, and creative endeavors demanding innovative thinking. Now, let's see what are the effective techniques for mind mapping. First, you have to start with the central idea. Okay. So, begin the mind mapping process by placing the core concept or theme at the center of your canvas or page. This central idea provides a clear focus for organizing related concepts and information. Research shows that starting with the central idea enhances cognitive organization and aids in structuring thoughts effectively. When learners initiate their mind maps with the central concept, it becomes easier to build connections between various subtopics. Creating branches, radiate branches outwards from the central idea to represent the main subtopics or categories associated with the topic. Each branch becomes a visual representation of a significant aspect related to the central theme. Studies have demonstrated that visually representing relationships between main ideas and subtopics through branching supports better cognitive organization and enhances information retention. Add details. Extend the branch further by adding supporting details, key points, and illustrative examples. These additional elements provide depth and content, contributing to a comprehensive understanding of the topic. Research suggests that including relevant details within visual representation, like mind maps, promotes meaningful learning and encourages learners to engage more deeply with the content. Using keywords and visuals, incorporate keywords, images, and symbols to convey concepts more concisely and memorably. Keywords capture the essence of ideas, while visuals support visual cues that aid in recall and comprehension. The integration of keywords and visuals align with the dual coding theory, which posits that combining verbal and visual information enhances memory and learning by creating multiple pathways for retrieval. Next, we move on to critical reading. So, reading with a critical and analytical mindset. Critical reading involves approaching a text with a discerning and analytical mindset. It goes beyond surface level comprehension to delve into content's underlying assumptions, implications, and potential biases. Evaluating content's credibility, biases, and deeper meaning. This includes questioning the source, considering potential biases, and uncovering hidden agenda. It also involves recognizing underlying themes, metaphors, subtexts that contribute to the text's deeper meaning. enhancing the ability to identify quality sources and reliable information. By engaging in critical reading, individuals become adept at distinguishing high quality sources from unreliable ones. They learn to recognize evidence based claims, well researched arguments, and credible references, contributing to the ability to access trustworthy information. Developing a more nuanced understanding of the text nuances. Through critical reading, readers gain a deep appreciation for the nuances present in the text. They identify underlying tones, contextual influences, and the interplay of different ideas. This results in a richer interpretation of the content. Promoting independent thinking and evaluation, critical reading encourages readers to think independently and question assumptions. It fosters a habit of active engagement with the text, enabling readers to form their own judgments and opinions based on evidence and thoughtful analysis. Now, let's see what are the effective techniques for critical reading. First one is question the author's intent. So, this technique involves actively considering why the author has presented certain information. It encourages readers to analyze the author's purpose, potential biases, and any hidden agendas. By asking questions about author's motives, readers can uncover the underlying message and intentions of the text. Evaluating evidence and support. In this approach, readers critically assess the evidence and support provided by the author to back up their claims. It involves determining whether the sources cited are credible and relevant. By evaluating the quality of evidence, readers can form informed opinions about the reliability of information presented. Recognize assumption and biases. Critical readers focus on identifying assumptions and biases that might be present in the text. This involves being aware of any underlying beliefs or preconceived notions that shape the author's perspective. Recognizing assumptions and biases allows readers to understand how these factors influence the information being presented. Considering multiple viewpoints, readers not only understand the author's viewpoint but also explore contrasting perspectives. This technique fosters a well-rounded understanding of the topic, encourages independent thinking, and helps readers develop a more comprehensive interpretation of the content. The next topic that we'll be dwelling upon is about time management, allocating time effectively. Time management involves wisely distributing your available time to accommodate reading tasks and other responsibilities. By setting aside dedicated time slots for reading, you can ensure that you have a structured approach to tackling your reading materials, prevents procrastination, and manages reading load. By allocating specific time slots, you create a sense of accountability that encourages you to start and complete your reading assignments. Moreover, managing your reading load prevents last minute rushes and reduces stress, enhances focus and concentration during reading. Allocating specific time periods for reading allows you to create focused and distraction free environment. Knowing that you have a defined time frame helps you concentrate better on the reading material without being distracted by external factors. Enables efficient allocation of time to different texts. Time management allows you to allocate time proportionally to different reading materials based on their importance and complexity. This approach ensures that you can give sufficient attention to each text while still meeting your overall reading goals. Now, let's see what are the effective techniques for time management. The first one is set goals and time limits. Establish clear reading goals for each session. Determine the amount of time you plan to spend on each reading task and stick to those limits. Techniques like Pomodoro method, which involves alternating focused work periods with short breaks, can help maintain concentration and prevent burnout during longer reading sessions. Prioritize and organize. Evaluate your reading materials and prioritize them based on deadlines, relevance, and importance. Create a structured reading list that outlines which text needs immediate attention and which can be addressed later. This organization prevents last minute rushes and allows you to allocate time more efficiently. Minimize distractions. Designate a distraction free environment for your reading session. Turn off notifications, silence your phones, and close unrelated tabs or applications on your computer. By creating a focused atmosphere, you can maximize your reading productivity and maintain better concentration. Reflect and adjust. Periodically review your time management techniques to assess their effectiveness. Reflect on how well you are adhering to your allocated time limits and whether your prioritization strategy is working. Adjust your approach as needed to optimize your reading routine. Finally, we move to the last technique, that is practice and review. Regular practice hones your reading skills. Consistent practice is essential for refining your reading skills. Just like any other skill, the more you practice, the more proficient you become at reading. Regular engagement with texts help you become more comfortable and adept at navigating different types of content. Reinforces reading techniques into habits. Through repeated practice, reading techniques become ingrained habits. When you consistently apply specific strategies, they become second nature, allowing you to effortlessly employ them during your reading sessions. Improves ability to apply techniques across text types. Practicing reading techniques across a variety of texts enhances your ability to apply these techniques universally. You develop a flexible approach that adapts to the different writing styles, genres, and content, enhances overall reading speed, comprehension, and retention. As you become more skilled, you will find that you can absorb and understand content more quickly and more effectively. Makes you more adaptable to different content. Regular practice exposes you to diverse subject matter, enabling you to become adaptable when encountering different types of content. Whether you're reading academic text, literature, news articles, or technical manuals, your honed skills can be applied effectively. Now, finally, we move on to the strategies for developing reading skills. So, reading strategies, as we have discussed in the previous slide as well, is a plan developed by a reader to assist in comprehending and thinking about texts. When reading, the words alone does not give the reader a sense of meaning of a text. Most researchers and practitioners agree about a core of 7 strategies. Now, what are those 7 strategies? Let's find out. The first one is activating background knowledge to make connections. An effective strategy for developing reading skills involves activating your existing background knowledge to establish connections between new and familiar information. This technique aids in better understanding and retention of the material. In educational settings, this instruction is often categorized into 3 types of connections, as defined by Colin Buddy. The first one is text to text connection. This involves relating the current text to other text you have encountered, comparing themes, characters, or ideas across different pieces of literature can deepen your comprehension. Then you have text to self connection. This technique encourages you to relate the text to your personal experience, feelings, or memories. Connecting the content to your own life enhances engagement and makes material more meaningful. Then we have text to word connections. By relating the text to broader real world events, issues, or societal contexts, you can gain a broader perspective on the material's significance and relevance. The next strategy is questioning the text. An effective strategy for developing reading skills involves actively questioning the text as you read. Proficient readers consistently pose questions to themselves about materials, promoting deeper engagement and critical thinking. Sticky notes have become a popular tool in classrooms for fostering active reading habits. They offer a practical method for students to pause, mark specific sections of the text, and jot down questions that arise during their reading. Drawing inferences. Proficient readers use their prior knowledge about the information presented in the text to make educated predictions about what might occur next or to uncover implicit meanings. Think aloud to demonstrate inference. This technique involves pausing while reading to verbalize their thoughts, including making predictions about what could happen next. This demonstrates how the skill of inferring is vital for comprehending text. Then we have determining importance. An essential reading strategy involves the skill of determining the importance of information within a text. Proficient readers must navigate a wealth of information and make informed decisions about which details are crucial and relevant. Teachers often guide readers in analyzing various text features that signal importance. In non-fiction texts, these features can include bullet points, headings, subheadings, and other formatting elements. In novels, verbal cues, characters, interactions, and narrative emphasis can indicate significance. Fifth one includes creating mental images. Proficient readers engage in the process of visualizing scenes, characters, and concepts as they progress through the text. Utilizing picture books and visual arts, which often educators incorporate, emphasizes the connection between words and images. The detailed and intricate art in picture books help students comprehend how visual elements contribute to the meaning of the text. Creating mental images while reading enhances comprehension by immersing readers in the narrative or content. It stimulates the imagination, making the text more vivid and relatable. This strategy fosters a deeper engagement with the material, enabling readers to connect with the story or information on a more personal level. Next, we move on to repairing understanding when meaning breaks down. Proficient readers don't simply continue reading when faced with confusion. Instead, they employ fix-up strategies to restore their grasp of the material. Proficient readers utilize various fix-up strategies to address comprehension breakdown. One essential technique is rereading. When confronted with confusion or unclear meaning, readers revisit the text to reacquaint themselves with the content, seeking greater understanding. Variety of rereading techniques. This can include rereading a specific sentence or paragraph, going back to earlier sections for context, or even rereading the entire passage. Repairing understanding to rereading ensures that readers don't simply gloss over unclear sections. This strategy promotes active engagement with the text, encourages problem solving, and cultivates persistence in seeking comprehension. Ultimately, the ability to repair meaning enhances overall reading proficiency. Finally, we have synthesizing information. This sophisticated technique combines elements of connecting ideas, questioning the text, and drawing inferences to achieve a deeper level of comprehension. With synthesis, readers progress beyond merely extracting meaning from the text. They integrate their newfound understanding into their personal lives and worldviews. This process involves connecting the text's ideas to their existing knowledge, experience, and belief. Synthesizing information is a high-level cognitive skills that foster critical thinking, intellectual growth, and the ability to relate diverse concepts. It empowers readers to extract broader implications from the materials, encouraging a more profound engagement with the content and its relevance to their lives. Finally, in the journey to becoming adept readers, employing a range of strategies is paramount. Activating background knowledge, questioning the text, drawing inferences, determining importance, creating mental images, repairing comprehension breakdowns, and synthesizing information collectively form a toolkit for comprehensive and proficient reading. These strategies not only enhance our ability to engage with texts, but also empower us to extract deeper meaning, retain information, and think critically. By cultivating these strategies, we navigate the intricate landscape of written content with confidence, deriving greater understanding and enrichment from every reading experience. Thank you for being a part of this journey of Art of Reading, Part 1 and Part 2. Happy reading.